Today I'm going to give a speech on why students are being prepared for the past and not for the future. I found a little video that kind of sums up what I'm going to be talking about. So I will first be showing the video, and then I will tell you why we are being prepared for the past and not for the future. And then I will talk about the problem, give the benefits throughout my speech, and talk about the benefits.
Albert Einstein once said, "Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today on trial we have modern day schooling. Glad you could come. Not only does he make fish climb trees, but also makes them climb down and do a 10-mile run. Tell me, school, are you proud of the things you've done? Turning millions of people into robots, do you find that fun? Do you realize how many kids relate to that fish swimming upstream in class, never finding their gifts, thinking they are stupid, believing they are useless? Well, the time has come, no more excuses. I call school to the stand and accuse him of killing creativity, individuality, and being intellectually abusive. He's an ancient institution that has outlived his usage. So, Your Honor, this concludes my opening statement, and if I may present the evidence of my case, I will prove it.
So today I'm going to prove to you why we are being prepared for the past and not for the future. As he said, Albert Einstein once said, "If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will grow up its whole life believing that it is stupid." That is what I believe we are teaching our kids to do. I think that we are undermining how the kids are to be learning and not giving them what they need. So 150 years ago, this is what a phone looked like. And today, this is our phone today. There's a big difference, right? This is a car from 150 years ago and a car today. Huge differences. There's a big change. This is a school from 150 years ago and our school now. Nothing has changed in more than a century. We have lost so many different things that we can change, like we were changing with our phones and with our cars and everything else. Everything is different except for our education. Yet we still say that we are preparing students for the future, when really we're still preparing them for the past. This is our problem. We are not giving the students what they need. Students are put in straight rows, organized in a specific order, and are told what to do every single day for 8 hours a day. They're told to sit still. We're told to raise our hands. We get a little break so that we can eat, and then we go right back to the same thing. We go right back to learning and to not changing. We're not being prepared. Then we have to be fighting to get an A every single day. That is the whole point of school. That's what we've been taught to do, is in order to succeed, we have to get the A. We have to be valedictorian. We have to be better than everybody else. But how can we be better when everybody is being taught the same? How can we change the way that we think and the way that we feel about things if we're being taught every day? Yes, math, science, English, those are all important things. They're all necessary. And I believe that, and no, we should not get rid of that. However, we need to be learning things like art and home ec and all of those different things so that we can still be prepared for the future. Times have changed, and we need people to think creatively. We need them to think independently. We need them to be able to adapt to different problems. We need them to be able to change. Students have been treated as a one-size-fits-all. They're being taught the same exact thing, how to interpret it, and how to apply it. I think of it as an educational malpractice. If every doctor were to prescribe every disease, every sickness, every illness, if they were to treat every single thing as the same and to give every single medication the same to every person, there would be a huge malpractice, right? So when they do that, they would get in serious trouble. Why aren't teachers being held to the same responsibility? Why aren't we being taught differently and given the different medications that we need? And yet, that's still supposed to be okay. We're still supposed to go into the world expected to know how to change. Teachers are often blamed for what they do. However, they don't have very much of a say in what's going on. The school systems that the system that they work in doesn't give them many options or rights. Our school curriculum is made by policymakers who have never taught before, who have never taught a day in their life. And yet they still tell us how to learn. They still tell us how to take the tests. That's like making a mechanic trying to do brain surgery. It doesn't work. They're different things. If we can adapt to all the other changes around this world, why can't the school system? Our goal should be to reach the heart of every child and help them find their passions, each and every individual child. Now, if you think that's a lot of work and not every child can be reached to that point, then you're being lazy and you're undermining every child that's out there, because every single child can learn in a different way, and I believe that we can change that. I think that we can change that if we look at Finland. Finland's schools have better standardized tests than America does. According to BusinessOutsider.com, one test is taken at the end of high school, and instead of computers grading them, teachers grade them. How much would that change our school system if teachers graded our tests that made us pass instead of computers? If teachers graded them, they can look at how we're thinking of that answer, how we came up with the answer, and how our thought process went throughout answering this. Instead of asking math problems that will never be used in reality, their test asks things like, in what sense are happiness, good life, and well-being ethical concepts? Isn't that pathetic? We are being taught Common Core, and we are being taught that 2 + 2 = 5, and that's okay. That's not how it is. That's not the reality. That is how Common Core is teaching us. Finland is teaching them how to go into the real world, and that is how we should be preparing ourselves. I believe that is how we can fix our systems. Finland also treats their teachers as professors, having them teach less during the day, allowing for more time to prepare lessons properly. This is what we should be doing, not forcing a fish to climb a tree every day and then go learn something that they have no desire for. Yes, math and science and English are important and are necessary, but to not allow for classes that they desire are what destroys our children today. We're not preparing them for the future. I believe that this will benefit our school system so much, and this will benefit our generations to come. Older generations keep getting angry at our generation because we're not prepared or we're not doing the things that we should be doing, when it's really the older generations that are teaching our generation how to learn and how to be prepared for the future. This is why I believe that we should be fixing our educational system. Are there any questions?
Do you think it's like just the United States that's teaching us this way? Because I know you said like Finland is different. Are other countries more like Finland, or?
I'm sure there are other countries that are in a way teaching like we are. One that stood out to me was Finland, though, because of how they adapted to their standardized tests. They don't look at the policymakers and let them apply to us, when really the policymakers have, like I said, taught a day in their life. They don't know how we are being taught. They don't know how we are reacting to what we're being taught. So that's why I chose Finland. I don't know for sure if there's other countries that are teaching that way, but I know that America is one of the biggest problems when it comes to teaching. Yeah.
What about the special education system? Sometimes they do the same thing as the normal education system.
And that's one of my main points is we aren't adapting to the things that are changing. I've noticed here, specifically here, there's a lot more autistic kids here. And because my stepdad, when he moved here, he said that he was rarely ever around an autistic kid and that he's never seen an autistic kid. And when he moved here, there's 5 in one little area. To me, I think there's something, I don't know necessarily what's going on with that, but there's a need to teach those kids in the way that they need it. Yes, they have the ability to do what others are able to do, but they still need that help. They still need to be able to have somebody there to adapt. Instead of telling somebody 2 + 2 = 4, and they don't get it, instead of yelling at them and telling them, no, this is what it is, they need to find a different way to go about it and say, no, if you have 2 people over here and you have 2 people over there, how many are going to be in a room? They need to go about it in a different way instead of saying, no, this is how it is and you need to learn it in that way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Any other questions?